Lucifer and Elohim. When the Elohim, at the beginning of the evolution of the earth, decided to create man, it was their intention to make man entirely in their image, so that each member of man's nature would correspond to one of the Elohim. They wanted to mirror themselves in humanity. But this did not happen on earth as we know it, but in a sphere which we would now have to draw around the earth, similar to the ring around Saturn. The Elohim acted upon this sphere from space and mirrored themselves in the humanity they had created. And the human beings in turn looked down on a point in the middle of the sphere and saw themselves being mirrored there. They in turn could now say to themselves, "That is you." If Lucifer had not appeared, it would always have remained so. People would have experienced eternal youth, and the consciousness they would have had of themselves would have been the consciousness of what they saw of themselves on earth as the You Are, I Am. Drawing from GA 265, S. 290. But when Lucifer appeared with his activity, he also wanted to reflect himself in humanity, and he did so by entering into the innermost part of man, radiating his influences from there. Instead of the beautiful and sublime in which man had hitherto seen himself, the ugly and shapeless now emerged. Like the serpent coiling around the tree in the story of Paradise, the reflection of Lucifer appeared. To prevent man from seeing himself in the ugliness of Lucifer, the Elohim pressed the sphere together and threw man to earth. As man was then, he would always have remained an infant, for in the infant the constructive forces of the Elohim still work. Man would have taken nourishment by absorbing the substance of plants and animals, which were then quite different from what they are now. In his consciousness, too, man would not have progressed beyond infant consciousness. In order to make self-consciousness possible for man, the Elohim have placed death in all earthly processes. Everything on earth has thereby been subjected to death, and now these forces work in such a way that, through the destruction they carry within them, they at the same time give the strength to overcome the destruction, and thus to attain to a higher state of conscious realization. Our concept of death, like almost everything on the physical plane, is the antithesis of its true nature. Only through death is it made possible for us to return to the relationship we formerly had to the gods and the spiritual world. Something must die in us before we can find the right connection again.